Okay, I am going to show you how to make a cardinal head, cardinal head, or the blue jay head, or the titmouse head. It's the head with a point on it. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do that. So, if you're wanting to make the cardinal, I'll put the link below. Follow the blue bird just in solid color. Do the feet in black. And get yourself worked up to the head. Then you can come over here and watch this video on how to do the head. And then I will include the closed wing pattern in the link below. So, you're going to start out with red, and you're going to work just these 12 pegs over here. So the first thing you want to do is knit 12 pegs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Please note when you're going to be getting the bird book, lift that a little bit. If you're going to be getting the bird book when it comes out in November, late November, the birds will be based off of particular body types, but you have to pay attention to the pattern and that there's sometimes a different amount of pegs used for tails, different amount of rows between here and here, and doing the short rows, and the short rows can be adjusted, but we're talking real minor adjustments. And by being able to follow the video for the bluebird, it's not going to be as difficult as you think. Once you get the idea of how these birds are put together, it's really easy. Okay, so you're going to knit 12, and then you're going to slip 1 and knit 11, slip 1 and knit 11, and you're going to do this for a total of 6 rows. So this is row 2. Okay, so you're going to do this for a total of 6 rows. So this is, sorry, you're going to do a total of 5 rows. Okay, so you knit your 12, then you're going to slip 1 and knit 11, and you're going to do that for a total of 5 rows. That was row 1. Slip that first one, and then knit your way over. So pause the video, get that much done, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, so here's how this rolls. What you want to do is you want to slip that first peg, and you're going to knit your way over. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then you're going to stop here and wrap and turn. You want to leave that end peg untouched. And you'll know it because you'll see that gap developing there. Okay. So you're going to wrap and turn. So you're going to take that behind, wrap and turn around to the front. And then you're going to knit your way over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, if you've been following the bluebird pattern, normally I do 3 of these. But what you're going to do is you're going to wrap and turn all the way down to 2 pegs. So you wrap and turn, and knit your way over. Wrap and turn, and knit your way over. You're going to do this all the way until you have 2 single pegs between wrap and turns. Okay? And then this is where it gets interesting. This is where it can be fun to keep up with after you've gotten it down to that. So wrap, and turn. And you're going to just keep doing this process until you are down to 2 pegs. Wrap, turn. Okay, here we are. You see all these wraps and turns, and then you got 2 single things right there, 2 single stitches. You're going to slowly work your way out, but here's what we're going to do that's different. So you're going to do 1, 2. Okay, so 2 rows, 1, 2 of 2. So you knit 2 for 2 rows. Then you're going to knit 1, 2, and then you're going to knit 2 together. So knit 2 together. Then you're going to knit 3, 1, 2, 3, knit 2 together. Okay, so you've gotten down to the next even number. So now you're going to knit 2 rows. So 2 rows of 4. Knit 4 for 2 rows. So here is row 1. And you're going to come back and go row 2. And what this is doing, it is creating a longer section in the top rather than on the under, and that creates that point. Okay, so now we're going to knit 4, knit 2 together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, knit 2 together. Then you're going to knit 5, knit 2 together. And you'll have worked yourself up to the next even number. You'll knit 6 for 2 rows. Here's your knit 5, knit 2 together. Now, you have 6, so you're going to knit 6 for 2 rows. So here's row 1. And here's row 2. Okay, now you're going to knit 6 and then knit 2 together. Then you're going to knit 7, knit 2 together, and that gets you to 8. And then you knit 8 for 2 rows. Okay. Now you're going to knit 8 for 2 rows. So here's row 1. And here's row 2. Okay, then you're going to knit 8, knit 2 together, knit 9, knit 2 together, so here's your knit 2 together, and then knit 9, knit 2 together. Then you're going to knit 10, well actually you're going to knit 11, so you're going to knit 11, and so slip 1, knit 11, which puts you back to ground 0, okay. And this has got us back to square 1 where we were to start. Okay, so we're not, no more wraps and turns. We worked our way back to our starting point. Okay. So you're going to slip 1, knit 11. And then you'll slip 1, knit 11. And then we'll be ready to start the next section. Okay. And what you have done is you'll have created a point, and the upper part of the head will be longer than the bottom because you've done double the rows. And you saw how I did that. Okay. And as far as I know, I didn't have to do it with the titmouse, but there you go. There is your point. I didn't have to sew it up, but if there is too much of a gap, you may want to try and sew it. Okay. There is your point for your cardinal. See? So, slip 1, knit another row, and get yourself back to starting point. And then we're going to change color. I'm still getting used to how to change color for the head in order for it to work when you gather it at the ends. Okay. So, we're going to change color. You shouldn't need the red anymore. You will need a black and you will need an orange. Okay. So go ahead and half knot base. Pull it all the way to the base. Got you some stuff to work with. Wrap around. Do a half knot. Try to get it as close to the base as possible. Pull. Snip. Alright. Now, just gonna. Okay. Now, going to slip 1 and knit a row. Slip 1, row. So you're going to do 2 rows of this, and then you're going to be doing your beak. Okay. Now I know on the other style that I did, I ended up doing that short row thing 3 times, but that's a gradual curvature of the head. But because we did such a dramatic point, you don't have to do that so much on the ones with a pointy top. Okay. Alrighty. Here we go. Now get your orange ready. Okay. Going to do 4 in the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So slip 1, knit 3 is basically what you're doing. You always want to slip those ends, and the reason being is you are going to be gathering, and you need to be able to see those chains easy. Now, here is what I would do if you struggle with this, particularly with the black. You'll want to put a stitch marker on the next stitch and the 4th peg. So this is where we're working our beak. Put a stitch marker on here and here. On the stitch, not on the peg, on the stitch. Okay. Right one. Okay. You're going to knit for 4 rows. 4 for 4 rows. So here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is just like if you were doing the feet. Their beaks are not quite as short and small, so we're having to make it a little bigger. So you knit 3 for 1 row, knit 2 for 1 row, knit 3 for 1 row, and knit 4 for 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so here is what comes next. Push that down. You've now created your beak. Now, if you are seasoned at this, you may not need it. What you're going to do is you're going to pull the original stitch, which was a black stitch, and if you stitch markered it, it's easy to find. You're just going to pull those stitch markers that you put on those pegs back on peg 1 and 4. Okay, so you're going to put it back on peg 1 and 4. Then what you're going to do is pick up your black. You're going to knit 2 together. You have to knit 1 over at a time. Knit 2 together, then knit 2, then knit 2 together. Okay. Then you'll want to cut off your orange. And it's okay if you have tails. Usually what I start doing is I start stuffing the beak with these tails, because what we've done is, if you look at a cardinal, its beak is open. It's fatter like this, not narrower. You'll want to leave that open in the middle, and that way you can stuff it a little. So then you'll knit 4. Okay. Now you're going to slip 1, knit 11 for let's see, 3 rows. We'll do 3 rows. So this is going to be your first row. Slip 1, knit 11. So this is row 1. Row 2. and row 3. Okay. Now, here's where you want to do your gather. And this is where it's always a challenge. And it's not really exact science, as I put it. Most of my stuff's a guideline, and usually even if you're off a row or something, it doesn't usually affect the whole pattern. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to go in and find your chains. And if you have a hard time finding your chains, stitch marker every slip you do. And that is how you can easily just go in and start adding your chain halves. Okay. And you're basically gathering them. Now, if you have a crochet hook and you want to do this with a crochet hook, it works good too. And you want to keep pulling as close as you can to this peg over here so that you have no gaps. If you end up with a gap, it's okay. You can sew it up. Alright. I'm going to kind of E-wrap that so it stays on. Alright, then you're going to just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Normally it's about 7, okay? But sometimes it ends up being 9. So somewhere in between 7 and 9 pegs to knit together, okay? And it's stitches. So then you're going to slip and knit over 10. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay. And as I said, do the best you can. If you have a little gap there, it's okay. Now, if you wanted to try and do a crochet hook method with this, you can. This is a little too big of a crochet hook. This one's probably a little too small. You can go in and try getting through each of them, each and then pulling it through, if you feel more comfortable with that. But I found that it's just easier to pull up the half of the chain. And you see this nice bubble edge that you can work from. And you try to get as close as you can to it. And I do try to show pictures when teaching how to do this. Okay, so then you're just gonna knit them all over. I don't know that I usually count. I just get as many as I can over and then just keep knitting a whole bunch over. So it's going to be anywhere from 9, 7. I usually guesstimate about 7. Every time I count, it's usually 7. This is the first time it's been 8, 9. But normally it's about 7, so it's anywhere in there. As I said, it's not exact science, it's a guideline. Okay, so now you want to cut yourself a long chain and do your weave bind off. So toss over, pull through. Go to the next side, toss over, pull through. Go to the opposite side, toss over, pull through. Go to the opposite side, toss over, pull through. Opposite side, toss over, pull through. Opposite side, toss over, pull through. Do this all the way to the other side, and then we'll work from there. Okie dokie. Now, here's our tail. Go to the opposite side, and you want to kind of just start pulling. It's like a straight drawstring rather than a drawstring that's supposed to be in the rounds. You just kind of pull it. Some yarns will be slicker than others. Ta-da! See? And there's your cardinal. Now, if you want a little more black through here, just through this section, I suggest duplicate stitching. You're going to be doing that a lot with the bird patterns, and it's because it just makes it easier. It makes a lot less headache when it comes to trying to knit in all those extra bits. I find that it's just easier to do that. Now, what I just did is those extra strands that I left, I stuffed them in there, and that kind of keeps you from having to sew up the beak, because it's the same color as the beak. Little tips and tricks. Let's stuff the head so you can kind of see what it looks like. I haven't tied off the, now, what I like to do when I'm stuffing is put it in there, smash it around, and shape it. There is an art form to stuffing that makes it look its best. Okay. And I usually don't finish tying that off truly before I'm ready. And the reason being is a lot of times I will do shaping, cinch the eye area, duplicate stitch. So, as you can see, I will probably do some duplicate stitching just through here to get it the way I want, and it looks like I might need to actually sew up that area. Not a big deal if you have to. Sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. I don't think I had to with the tip mouse. So stuff some in there. Because the polyfill does compress down some, that's why you want to go in and smash it and stuff it, and you eventually get what you need. So, I always say there's an art form to stuffing. Particularly getting it even, where it's not so bulky in one area and another. And as you can see, the more I pull that, the more shaping you get. It's all about shaping. Okay. I think I need a little bit more. We almost have it. Ready to close at the bottom. There. And you kind of don't want to overstuff the bottom too much, because there's usually a more gradual change from the tail, and if you don't stuff up the bottom too much, you can get that, you can smash in that gradual tail. See, there, you're already getting the idea. Now, what you'll want to do is what I like to do is if you got the black on, because you got a pretty long string here, there's a slight opening here. You can close it up. Okay. Alright, I'm going to show you a trick. Okay, that side looks pretty closed. Okay, if you're wanting to do a duplicate stitch, your stitches are going this direction, and I think I want to, yeah, okay. So you kind of get a general guide of which patterning you want to do. Okay, so I've pulled it up. Now, what you want to do, I'm going to move it over one. So if you don't have it exact, you can move it over. Okay, I'm going to move it there. Okay, so what you have here is you want to follow your stitching. Okay, so I get to first. You want to follow that stitching. So you want to go behind here, pull through, and then back to where you were. And then you're going to, you may be inclined to go to here, but you want to go here. See? So you're going to be inclined to go up here, but you want to go here. Pull through, and then you're going to go behind that stitch, back in there, and again, you think you're going to want to go here, but you're going to go right here. Okay, right there. And then you're going to go behind again. Okay, then you can try going from here and up and kind of just working your way around. But no, you always want to go to the base of the stitch. Okay, and see, you've done a duplicate stitch. It looks really good. Okay, and it's, once you get the hang of this, it's so much easier than trying to work in a spot of color. Okay, and then if you're doing it the other way, you want to just go down. You want to go down a single stitch, not down here, single stitch. Okay, it's getting the hang of it. Once you get the hang of it, I promise it goes a lot easier. Go around the back. And go around the back, send through, and then send through that hole, and then you'll see these connecting zones right here. You'll see them. That's where you're wanting to go. Okay. Pull through, send around to the back like that, and send through. And I want to do one more row. And as you can see, and if you want to do it more gradual, you can. Just adjust it. It's, you know, if you work a little and you're like, oh, I want a little here, just do it. It's kind of like embroidering in a face or something. You just kind of work around where you want. If you want a little more here or a little more there, you know, go for it. Okay, so send that there, back around, and in. Okay, I might want to do a little bit more gradually, but as you can see, see what happens when you do that? And I have a feeling that will need to be sewn up. That'll need to be sewn up. But there you go. So you'll sew that up, and if you feel the need to make it a little less of a dramatic change, you can. You just play with it. Okay. Send that over here. And do here. It's a little more gradual. Alright. See? Then you start getting more of the shape you want. Then you'll want to cinch your eye area in, which I usually just send through. Pull. Send through the other side. Try to make sure it's about even. Pull. Might need to do it a couple of times to truly get that indentation. Okay. Then you can go in. Send through. Okay. And just shape it until you have it. I would suggest sewing up, so that isn't going to take much to sew up. Okay. Keep shaping the way you want. Okay. If you want more of a point, pull that. Okay. All right, and that's basically how you do your cardinal's head. And you want to glue your eyes here, sew that up so that it's closed in more. And then you can go to the link below for how to do the closed wings, or you can do the open wings. I'll include those in there. But there, that's how you do your cardinal head.